I would call to order the Village of Westmont Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for Wednesday, the 8th of October. Village of Westmont. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Simpson?
Here.
Commissioner Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Peterson's here. Commissioner Lynn?
Here.
Commissioner Donahue?
Here.
And Chairperson Carmichael.
Here. We have a quorum. Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And while everyone's standing, anyone who testifies has to be sworn in. So please raise your right hand and swear that any and all testimony you provide will be the complete truth. Thank you. And a reminder, please, for everyone to silence your mobile devices. And secondly, you saw in the hallway there's a sign-in sheet. There's another sign-in sheet at the podium, but anyone who gives testimony has to sign in with their name and contact information. The next item is approval of the minutes from the August 13th regular meeting. Will I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Second.
Second, Lynn. Discussion of the minutes? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson votes yes. Commissioner Lynn?
Yes.
Commissioner Donahue?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Abstain.
And Chairperson Carmichael.
Yes. And before we get underway, just a review of a public hearing procedure. The way it's conducted is the applicant or petitioner comes forward, is introduced, and then presents his or her petition, followed by staff comments, and then the public gets to weigh in. Anyone from the public can come to the podium and make comments or ask questions. And we do request that all comments and questions are directed at the commission, not back into the audience. And then finally, it comes to the commissioners. We can discuss, question, and so forth, and hopefully get to a vote. And remember that the decision of this commission is recommending only. It's a recommendation to the village board. So whether we recommend yes or recommend no on a petition, the village board has no requirement to agree with us. Under new business, under old business, I see none. New business, first one would be the easiest one because it's public hearing PZC 019-2025. This was a request from Amy Bloom Florals and Hinsdale Barber Properties for the property up here at 13 West Quincy Street for a special use permit to operate a meeting hall for classes, receptions, and similar events in conjunction with a flower shop. And that request has been withdrawn. So we'll proceed to the next item, which is PZC 017-205. Is anyone here from JA RE Enterprises to present your petition? Seeing that they're not, let's move ahead to the next item, and that's public hearing PZC 018-2025, a request from Ellen Bomba and Eugene Hong for the property at 31 South Grant for the following: a zoning ordinance variance to the maximum lot coverage in the R3 single-family detached residence district for a patio. Good evening, folks.
So yeah, we're proposing a patio in our backyard. It would bring us it's like over the maximum lot coverage.
I think rounded up, it was at 41%.
Please speak up.
I'm sorry, rounded up, it was around 41%.
I see.
So what we're proposing, I know a lot of the issues in that area is because it's at a low at that corner of Richmond and, what's that, Richmond and Grant. Over there is a low depression area, and it gets quite a bit of flooding when it rains really hard. So what we're proposing, I don't know if, so. This is pretty much the patio that we're proposing. I don't know if it's
Give me
showing
one
up on there.
second. Glenn, if you can have the TVs turned on to the presentation. Thank you.
So this would be the area. We have, what we want to do is have a drain right here in the center, and it will drain out away from that area of Richmond and Grant. That's what it looks like right now.
Yeah, that's just showing what the
Yeah.
backyard looks like now. And this is the proposal.
So this drain right here would drain out towards the back, so that would be the east side, east alleyway. We would install a dry well in the middle of the yard.
And then there's a channel drain that would be against,
Yeah, I think this shows a better
yeah.
picture of it. So if you're looking at it, this is where the boxes are over here, the tan. I guess the mouse doesn't go on there. That's the west side where Richmond and Grant is. And then the east side is that's where it says 22-foot drain channel.
Our driveway goes down here this way, which would go out into the Grant to Richmond intersection.
You have to come to the microphone.
Oh, gosh, I'm
So,
sorry.
yeah.
Where those boxes are, past that to the left, that's where our driveway's at, so it would leak down into the Richmond-Grant intersection.
Right now,
That's how it is right now.
Right now, it's just mud, and it fills, when it rains really hard, it just pools up. It doesn't drain anywhere. It just leaks into our driveway and runs
So
down
then-
the driveway.
So then to the right, we have our backyard, and so what he was saying is we'd have a central basin right in the center of that patio, and then channel drains around it.
That go into a dry well that is in the east side over there, away from the street.
In our yard. So technically it'd be helping
It would
the
be,
runoff.
helping the water runoff when it rains.
And then we've also proposed to do like a rain garden around that area as well, just to help with any other water. And
Scott, for the for the group here and everything, it's my understanding that the front yard of this property is where the slope goes down to this sub-basin and the low depression area, the front of their house, so that this would direct the water
correct.
Yeah, away.
Back.
Towards the alleyway.
That's correct. So the sub-basin is located around the whole property. The low depressional area, that's where the water pools. There's a portion of their front yard that encapsulates it, but it all pools to that intersection and that park.
And we would have the patio angled in, just so all the water that collects will go into that central basin and then be pushed out to the dry well that will slowly kind of come out into our yard. That's much further, 100+ feet away, from the street.
Understood. Anything else?
That would
That's
be
it.
it.
Thank you. Staff, would you illuminate us?
Thank you, Chair. The petitioners here are asking for a variance to the maximum lot coverage in the R3 single family detached residency district. Their property at 31 South Grant Street is located at the intersection of South Grant and Richmond. One of our older parks is at this intersection as well, which we just discussed. The property consists of a single-family detached residency, a detached garage, and a shed on site. The lot is pretty standard in size. It's 60 by 150 feet at 9,000 square feet, which is generally what most of the properties are in the downtown residential areas. So we include this in our downtown. It's at one of our original subdivisions, McIntosh subdivisions, which was recorded back in like the 1920s. Their request is to construct a 330 square foot patio using either concrete or pavers. They provided two separate contract proposals for those material types. The current lot coverage for the property is 37.2%. This would raise it to 40.8%. We usually try to round up in case of any calculation errors at the staff level, so we usually round that up to 41%. The maximum allowed in this district is 35%, which means that obviously the property would exceed their maximum allotment, and they already do exceed their maximum allotment as it exists today. The code sections noted in the staff reports are from the older code because of when they provided their documents. The code section, although it's different, it's the same numbers, so 35% is the maximum lot coverage today, and it was when they submitted, so we didn't have them resubmit anything. But that's why the staff report calls out the old code. So lot coverage, as we've talked about a few times now, includes any hardscaped areas on the property. Those are your patios, your buildings, decks, anything that is not landscaping or turf is included in lot coverage calculations. The property, or the code section is 6.04D, sets the maximum lot coverage at 35%. Some properties can qualify up to 40% from our engineer's perspective when they look at things like low depressional areas, wetlands in the area, and floodplains. This property, as we already noted, is located in one of those sub-basins that has a low depressional area, which means that the water migrates and pools in a certain location. As discussed, it's at that intersection and at that park. So the engineer could not approve anything up to 40%. They're already asking for above 40%, so we have no way at the staff level to administratively approve this. That's why they're here asking for the variance tonight. The property, just going back in time a little bit, had some improvements done to it. They had their driveway redone in 2023 and removed a deck on the property that was on the driveway at the time. And then they also changed the location of the shed to the opposite side of the backyard, I believe, back in 2024. We were able to approve those because they weren't increasing lot coverage. I believe at least one of those permits, they were actually decreasing their total lot coverage when that permit came through. Unfortunately, they weren't doing all the projects together, so they don't get credit for anything they lost at the time. But it wasn't substantial to allow them to do this project in the future. As we've seen in many of these lot coverage variance requests we've been seeing recently, we usually have our engineer provide a recommendation letter. In this letter that's attached to your report and was given to the petitioners as well, the engineer is allowing or is recommending that the patio be built with permeable pavers rather than doing any of the rain gardens or a dry well for this location. The reason is due to maintenance, largely for the engineer in this situation, and due to the location of the low depressional area that's in the front yard. He believes the pavers will work better. He has some specifications on how those pavers should be constructed. I believe it was an aggregate base course depth of 12 inches, or the manufacturer's standard for those, which is usually, I believe, 12 inches.
Scott, would it be possible to do both permeable pavers and a dry well?
I think, based on the recommendation letter that the engineer provided, he said this would work better. It's up to the commission and village board on what they feel would best mitigate those. He believes that our consultant believes that the permeable pavers would work better in this situation. But a quasi version of that, half and half, or something that allows them to mitigate it further could be looked at by our engineer. But I cannot say right now that it's the best situation for them. It might be more expensive to do it that way anyway. So that letter's attached. The other thing I want to note is we have the variance standards in your packet from the old code. So those standards for variances have changed in the new code, but we're using the old one, so you should be reviewing this under those standards. The findings of fact were also provided to you by our attorney earlier today. That should be at your seat in response to those standards. And I'm open to answer any questions from the commission.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone from the public here tonight who would like to address the commission on this agenda item? Seeing no one,
I will note that we did receive one public comment, which was given to you in our packets, although it's not public testimony. One of the neighbors did provide an email comment to me prior to the meeting. That should be in your packet.
did everyone see that?
And it's in support of the request.
All right, let's go to the commissioners. Commissioner Lynn, would you begin?
There was, I think, a similar case in another part of town, that and where yeah, the engineer had recommended permeable pavers. I don't disagree. I think it's okay for the variance, say, for going along with the village engineer's recommendation. Overall, what I've mentioned times before with the zoning changes is I think that I think our lot coverage limitations are sorry. I think our lot coverage limitations are too restrictive in the town. Like that. I think that. Yeah, I think they're too restrictive, and they kind of that they should be eased up some. So, but that's my opinion. I don't know if I have any questions for you guys. I mean, is there a reason why you prefer, or do you have a preference of like drywall or permeable pavers?
I mean, just for maintenance reasons, I'd prefer the drywall and concrete, and for pavers, it doesn't matter either way for us.
Yeah, money's not really an option for it, even if it is the more expensive route, just so that we could have a patio where we could sit out with our family and have dinner on a nice night. And I will add, with the permeable pavers, I don't know if this is a standard, but it is something that was mentioned to us. We would be using nitro sand. That does help with drainage significantly, so between the pavers.
How large, maybe it was in the document, how large of a drywall was it?
I'll jump in. We usually don't make any petitioner provide the information until permitting, because usually an engineer has a heavy say in what that should be if a condition's placed on the approval to do it.
Okay.
So it's probably, if the condition's placed on it, our engineer would likely give them that specification.
So if you're weighing, if you're weighing the options between permeable pavers or the drywall, you probably don't know like it's only the engineer would say how big the drywall will have to be. In other words, that's kind of a mystery box of a price, because not that I'm telling you what you should and shouldn't do as far as cost, but I have a feeling that that's a bigger unknown as to how large of a drywall it is. Drywall, I don't know if you're familiar, but drywalls, they could come in all sorts of sizes, like in depths. So, whereas, anyway, I'll just step back to my previous comment, which is I think I'm okay with permeable pavers, but I don't think I have any other questions besides. So.
I will add. So usually what we hear from residents for permeable pavers is it's hard to maintain a lot of the times for them. For the village's perspective and the engineer's perspective in particular, when he sees a project come through like this that has conditions placed on approval of any kind, we will always see if, let's say, the house is sold in the future the new owner comes in, we have in our record that it should be constructed of permeable pavers and maintained. So if somebody comes in and says, we're gonna make all this concrete instead of permeable, we would say, no, you have to abide by the ordinance that has that condition on it. When it's a dry well, sometimes we don't require permits for dry wells. And a lot of times when property owners change hands, they might not even know there's a dry well on the property. So it's a little more difficult for us to know if it's being properly maintained. And I'm not saying that you guys would not maintain it, but that's generally why we would see our engineers say permeable pavers rather than a dry well in certain situations.
And maybe as far as like looking at your site plan, although I have a feeling that as far as costs, sometimes it might be an option for you, although I don't think it's I don't think it's a better option, but is to reduce the size of other paved areas on your property to compensate. If you didn't want to do permeable pavers, that would be something worked out with the engineer and through permitting. But if that wasn't brought to your attention, I would say that might be something that could be worked out. I don't know if that helps cost wise. Is the thought that perhaps your driveway could, and maybe Scott, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but that you might be able to do kind of like a trade if you didn't want to do permeable pavers and instead you wanted to reduce your driveway or reduce one thing or another. So, but I do want to speak for the engineers on this. So,
It's something to take into consideration. So.
right.
Commissioner Simpson.
I think it's great. I think, you're obviously making an improvement to your home. I understand having a family wanting to enjoy it. At first, when I looked at it, when I was first reading through your application, I wondered why we didn't just knock off 0.8% or the 72 square feet, but then I saw the building to the north, and it would look silly for you to cut off 72 square feet, so I think it's great. I think permeable pavers will help. I think it'll help. The only reason, normally I would say that's fine with the one. The only reason why I think they should do both, not just one or the other, is because of the fact that we know we have issues here. And in being consistent for an area that we know we have problems, the one we had a few months back, we required the dry well, and then we had that terrible storm like 2 weeks later. I remember thinking like, oh God, at least we required that. And I hope you haven't had any water issues at your house.
We haven't had any.
Which is great, right? Because like that couple weeks, I had friends in both Westmont and Clarendon that just had nothing but flooded basements, and it's a terrible thing to have to deal with as a homeowner. You, let alone your neighbors, right? You're going to be the person who has the most runoff from your own stuff, but you should be able to enjoy your backyard. So I don't have any issue with that. I just think that I don't think the cost is going to be debilitating, and I think is it Jamie that's the engineer?
Correct.
Yeah, so I think Jamie says like, hey, they don't need a big one, fine, then go with the smaller one, but I think for the moment put the condition of both the permeable and the dry well, and the size is what's going to make it cost prohibitive. So if it's smaller, then it's going to be negligible, but still add something to it. And I hope you have nothing but wonderful times on the patio. I think it's great. I'm
So do we.
supportive of
So,
it.
like I said, cost isn't an issue. We want to do it the right way. We want to make sure that we're helping not only ourselves,
You wanna
but
be
our
able to
neighbors
use it.
around. Yeah, and it'll
so
be
if it's
useful.
flooded, you can't use it.
So, yeah. So.
Commissioner Donahue.
So your property is right along probably one of my most frequented running routes, and I know that Lebec Park will flood, but it floods to the south of your intersection. I can't help but think that this would only assist with a better water runoff situation after you put the drain in than is already currently there without it. And I know that there's a couple sewers before Richmond, before the water pools to the south of Richmond when it rains. So I don't see how this doesn't put the water runoff situation into a better one than is currently there without the drain. So I agree with Commissioner Simpson. Good luck. I'm good here. No questions.
Good. Thank you. Commissioner Thomas?
Thank you for going that extra mile. You live there, you know what the situation is. Neighbors, you've you've witnessed neighbors get flooded, the whole neighborhood is like that, and Westmont is historically flood central sometimes. And I appreciate your extra effort and going the extra mile, and I support you in this.
Thank you. Commissioner Peterson?
So now, either you're going to put in permeable pavers or a dry well or both. Is that correct?
I believe it was either a dry well with concrete or permeable pavers, but our idea was permeable pavers with the central basin leading to the dry well, but whatever becomes a recommendation from the engineer, we will roll with.
We're okay with.
And what I'll add is our engineer in this document, based on the submitted materials, said that
Right, I saw.
just the permeable pavers would be enough and no additional mitigation, as long as those permeable pavers are installed based on those standards he provided.
And honestly, I've heard this before, and I should probably research it. I don't really know what the maintenance is for what people say there's maintenance involved.
For the permeable pavers?
Yeah.
Usually it's when we're in a climate that changes all the time, so you get them.
The freeze thaw.
Yeah, you get the pavers that become uneven eventually.
So you can't like just go out there with a shovel and level, I mean, you have to.
Sometimes you need actually to use like a special broom to do it if it has, similar to our
Oh,
alleyways where we
okay.
have the special plows that go in the back that kind of spin.
Yeah.
That's because we don't want to damage the permeable pavement or pavers.
Okay, so there is some maintenance, but it's not like every year you have to, okay. I don't have an issue with the lot coverage. I know when you own a home, I mean, I am outside constantly, not in the winter, but in the, and I want things to be the way I want them to be. I think it looks great, and I would like it part of the motion to be the permeable pavers and/or the dry well, or both. I don't know.
I think if we do a motion for a condition, to place a condition that says something along the lines of the installation of either permeable pavers or a dry well based on the engineer's recommendation. So if you have an engineer.
Not both. I mean, my
Or
suggestion
both.
was,
Whatever, my recommendation is leave it with the engineer to make the decision.
but we have the engineer's recommendation.
Correct. He says pavers would be the best situation for that. Obviously, once they submit a permit, we'll have more information on the specific site and details of what that would be. So you could either say, if you're okay with the permeable pavers that the engineer's saying would need the 12-inch depth, base course depth, and you can make the motion to do that, or you can do your own motion, either saying either the dry well and pavers or whatnot. So
Scott, I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. The engineer's report was referring to either the dry well or permeable pavers. It wasn't saying
it was saying permeable pavers are preferred from
over the dry well. Right. But it wasn't saying don't do the dry. He's just saying it's not, he felt it wasn't necessary to do it.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. That's,
Dry well.
That I understand. He's saying leave off the dry well. My issue is that they're going above and beyond the administrative approval level in an area that we know we have issues. So when the next person comes in, I would have no problem relying on his report to take it from 35 to 40. I feel if we don't do something over 40 in an area that we know that has this issue, we're gonna get into this consistency issue. And that's my only concern here, because the village used to take the opposite approach when it came to permeable pavers.
Yeah, I think it's situational.
All dealt with.
Yes. I would leave that, the motion up to the commission on.
Well,
what should be decided.
I agree that, what we want to avoid, I mean, we want these homeowners to improve their properties and to the extent possible in certain areas that have more problems with water and so forth, that they have to take actions. But I don't think we would be wise to say, okay, well, that's fine here. And then next month, we've got another one. The month every neighbor in the neighborhood is going to say, oh, hey, we can go to 40%. I think that's the issue we have to be careful with. And that's why I had the question of, I know the engineer's report saying that the engineer recommends the permeable pavers, and I have the question of, well, would be going above and beyond to add dry well requirement to that. And you're saying that, well, it would only be if the engineer recommends it.
I would say, not being a professional engineer, I would always go to my engineer's recommendation or requirements. Because sometimes you don't know about the topography of the area until you see a permit come in. So he believes that if the whole thing's on the permeable pavers, it's enough mitigating factor for the additional runoff.
Yeah, sorry, did I interrupt you?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm on the side of thinking, if the engineer thinks that's fine, then I'm with the engineer. The engineer is an engineer, he's licensed, he's professional, he knows soil types, he knows dry wells, he knows what, I would imagine he would know, or that, yeah, we could, I mean, he's a licensed individual, so like, I would definitely trust his word over us just thinking, oh, add a dry well, when we don't, I mean, it could be, the engineer might say, well, like, I mean, if it's that much of a concern, fine, we'll make it not 12-inch core step, we'll make a 14-inch core step. Do you know what I mean? That he'll have, whereas we're just kind of guessing at the need or the benefit of a dry well. We don't, none of us really know, like, because none of us are civil engineers. So I just trust that the licensed individual that is. That's my opinion on it.
Thank you. Good point. Jill, do you have anything else?
No, I think I was done.
Okay. I guess my initial reaction to this is a beautiful project you have planned here, but it seems awfully large. The 330 square feet is an awful
If
lot.
I may,
And
when
I
you're in the
thought, well, gee,
backyard,
if
it's
you
not
had,
that big.
you know, if you had half that or 2/3 of that or something, would that mitigate the percentage and would that even be a consideration that for you? What's your reaction to that?
If that is something that is needed just to get a patio there, because at the moment, it's just dirt. It's just dirt and the weeds come up to your hips.
There
and
was a deck there prior that we took out, and that deck was, I mean.
It was rotting
Yeah, it
and-
was
What was
rotting.
the size of that deck?
It was the same size.
The
Yeah.
same size
Yeah.
as this?
It's the only difference is with our lot coverage is that we have a very narrow driveway. So like he mentioned earlier, we had a strange deck when we moved in on the side of there. We took it out and we thought that would be a great place to kind of extend the driveway for our cars so we're not constantly, how
Tandem
annoying that
parking,
could be
yeah.
is moving your car when the next person wants to leave.
Yeah.
So we did that, but now we're in a new problem where we trying to get a patio so we can kind of sit outside and enjoy the yard that we've built. If it's recommended that 300 is too large and that's not okay, we're willing to compromise and come to a number that would be fitting for the patio. We can always do something that makes it look okay, just as long as we can maybe have a table out there, you know, where we can sit and have a family dinner or something. So-
I do note that the part of your lot that is in the low depression area is the front of your house. So it's not back
Right.
here.
No,
so-
our back never pooled. It's just the front
So,
runs right on.
Yeah,
This area right now pools because it's just mud right now. So
Yeah.
it pools, you know, when I think over the summer we had a really hard rain and I was watching the runoff from that area go down our driveway. So I feel like if we have this patio and it's pitched away from the driveway, then it can only help
yeah, sounds like it.
to mitigate the runoff.
Well, that's all I have. At this point, Chair would entertain a motion to,
To make it the permeable paver 12-inch base.
So
yeah,
your next step would be motion, and if
a
anybody,
motion to include the engineer's recommendation.
you can do that or somebody else on the commission.
I see. So, any further discussion? Okay, does Chair have a motion to approve?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve subject to the following condition, that they do permeable pavers and a dry well, subject to the engineer's approval. And the reason why I'm including that is, and I agree with Commissioner Lynn, what my concern is that I don't want this to be a race of their first in time. So he's correct. I trust the engineer on that. What I'm concerned of, they don't have to do it. Now the neighbor wants to do it. At some point, do we get to a point where now we do need the dry well, but we've just created a pattern of not having it? Whereas is it something where this will be, and again, that's absolutely an answer for the engineer to do. If that will help and that is a sustainable model, if the neighboring house to their north and south want to do it, then that's exactly what I want the engineer to recommend. But if he says, hey, it's not going to matter what the neighbor to the north and south does, then I know that's long. That's just kind of the conclusion. It's got to where my head's going for the engineer.
Well, wouldn't the engineer review each project as it comes in? He reviewed theirs, he said the pavers. His opinion on this property was the pavers. Okay, so we go with that. 2 houses down might be different, and when the engineer looks at that, his recommendation might be different for that property.
Right.
So I think we just go with what the engineer has said on this one, and that's what we'll go with this one, with this property.
Okay, I hear you. So we have 2 competing opinions.
May
What do you
I interject really quick?
Certainly.
We can do 2 votes. We can do an amended motion. Somebody would have to do this. Amended motion to approve with the condition of installing permeable pavers as recommended by the engineer, which is the less restrictive of the motions. And then if that does not get approval based on the commission, we can do a second motion to what Commissioner Simpson recommended,
That sounds
just the more
reasonable.
restrictive. We did this recently with the other project, if you recall.
So if,
Less restrictive versus the more restrictive?
We can do either way.
okay, so you want to do motion under the condition of permeable pavers with a 12-inch base and a dry well,
Drywall subject to the engineer's approval.
okay.
We would usually go with the less restrictive motion.
I have no
Yeah.
objection. If the commissioners go for that one, I mean, everyone understands what we're doing here, so it's,
Yeah, usually if you go with the less restrictive motion, then if that's approved, you don't even do the second motion, so.
But wouldn't it be better to do it with both and then let the engineer decide instead of doing a bunch of different motions?
If you do the less restrictive motion first, then we don't have to do the other motion. So if we get a recommendation
The
of
less
approval.
restrictive motion passes,
You're done.
it goes forward to the village board.
And which is
If it
the,
doesn't pass, then we could have a second motion
what's the less restrictive one?
to include, the less restrictive is not including the dry well.
Correct. So if somebody can make the motion for not including the dry well, then we can start.
Okay, does chair have a motion to,
Sorry, can I just maybe point out that I believe, like we're talking about dry well and permeable pavers, some of this stuff is, I mean, I can't speak for the engineer, but a lot of this is just kind of like a give and take thing. As I mentioned a minute ago, is he might say, well, maybe not a dry well, but a 14-inch or a 16-inch base stone underneath the, like there's a give and take. Like you could do trade-offs between some of this stuff. I'd imagine, anyway, I'm not an engineer to say, but it's like, I think we're fixating on the idea of a dry well, but I mean, I don't even know if the dry well, I mean, would it be even, I don't know if it would satisfy us to think that, what if the dry well just ends up being a 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot, just like the size of a 5-gallon bucket on the ground? That satisfies a dry well, but it's not. So anyway, I'll just go back to my point. I'm just gonna go with the engineer.
well, fair point. We're not engineers, and we shouldn't try to be. John, go ahead.
where's it drain to then? I guess is my question. If there's no dry well, there's permeable pavers, but there's a drain in the middle, where does it go to?
If it's permeable pavers, we likely not have the drain
There's no
in
drain
there,
basin.
Yeah.
because it would just go through.
Okay.
So again, Chair would entertain a motion to approve under PZC 10182025, zoning ordinance variance to the max lot coverage in the R3 single-family detached resident district for a patio.
With permeable paver?
This is when,
Well, I'm waiting for a motion.
if a commissioner has a motion
Motion.
to
Donahue.
approve with the condition of
This
installing.
would be the less restrictive.
Right.
Yep. Motion.
Okay.
So moved.
Second?
Yeah. I have a motion and a second. Further discussion?
Yeah, like,
Yes.
I would, sorry, not discussion, but I was just going to say yes to the,
Oh, okay, first, discussion? Closed? Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lynn?
yes,
Commissioner Donahue?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
No,
What?
no, I'm the less restrictive. I'm still all for it, guys, just so you know.
Commissioner Thomas?
We're
Yes.
doing it.
Commissioner Peterson votes no. Chairperson Carmichael?
Yes. And I say that because I'm not an engineer and
So if that one passes, we don't do another one?
We don't have to unless the chair feels necessary.
so,
Oh, it'll just be,
That's fine.
okay.
No, I'd withdraw my motion.
so that's it. We got
passes outright,
3-2,
so-
motion passes. And, you know, you can have further discussions with your engineer about, you know, things we talked about and see if he or she might have further recommendations. All right?
This is tentatively scheduled for the October 30th village board meeting.
Okay.
We'll get you more information as we get closer to it.
Thank you for everyone's time. Have a good evening.
All right. Good evening.
Thank you. That's very rude of those people not to show up.
Well, under public hearing PZC 017-2025, we have no one to present the petition, so Chair would entertain a motion to continue this hearing to the Wednesday, November 12th meeting. Continuance.
Point of information, Chair?
Go,
They
go.
contact staff or anyone explaining they would not be here, or did they just kind of go?
They were confirmed for the state. I did not receive any information they would not be in attendance unless I have a phone call waiting downstairs. So the staff would prefer a continuation due date certain on November, so we don't have to repost in the paper.
Got it.
Motion to, I can make motions, right?
Yep.
Second, Simpson.
Second, Simpson.
Okay.
Motion Peterson, second Simpson. Discussion on the continuance? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Peterson votes yes. Commissioner Lynn?
sorry, what was this, just to say? Yeah,
This is for the continuance.
Continuance.
sure, yes.
Commissioner Donahue?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Chairperson Carmichael?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, that takes care of new business. And moving on to open forum. Is there anyone here tonight who would like to address the commission on anything that's not on tonight's agenda?
No, but thank you.
Seeing none, we'll move on to miscellaneous. Just all I have is under general updates, so the next meeting will be second Wednesday of November 12th. Is there anyone here who anticipates not being here that day? No. Okay. Anyone have anything else? What?
I have, for miscellaneous, you received an email from our admin, Jamie Hoffman, regarding training. The normal APA training was
Oh, yeah.
changed to be only online, so it's a Zoom video conference, I believe. If you do plan on attending, I recommend attending. It's a good time to have a team of attorneys present on various topics, and then you can ask questions. Nothing's recorded, so it's just for commissioners.
They're always good. I note that this is, I think, from 5 in the afternoon until 7.
Correct.
In the evening.
I believe so.
And
And
I
if,
thought it was 7 to 9.
if you
is it
plan-
7 to 9? Anyway, it's not in the daytime, it's in the evening. So,
This is our petitioner. We did just vote to continue.
okay, sir, we have,
You know, I thought I had it at 7 p.m. I mean,
6 p.m.
well, it's 6 p.m., yeah.
We voted, I'll contact you. We voted to continue to November.
All right, that's fine. I appreciate it. Sorry. Thank you, guys.
So APA, that's the training they're offering. They did not have the in-person one that we usually have, which is at the conference that is happening this week. If you do plan on participating, we pay for it. The village pays for it, so you can contact Jamie Hoffman to sign up for it.
I think she wants to know by the 15th.
I believe the 15th we'll need to know if she's currently out of the office, so email me right now. And then the second item I have is you may have already received the sexual harassment, anti-sexual harassment training that needs to be completed. If you do it for work, which is, I believe, the state law to have it done, please forward your certificates to me or Jamie Hoffman that you have done from work that I can give to HR.
and that has to be accomplished by,
I believe it's the end of the year, but I'd have to double check.
Yeah, it was
Maybe
like
sooner.
3 months.
well, I completed mine. Has everybody else
did
finished
mine.
their training?
I think I did mine. There's like 3 of them, right? We do one for the, we have 3, sir. No, I'll talk to you after.
What I'll say is if it's not completed by the end of the year, you may have to sit out some meetings because it is a requirement by the state to be done. We try to hold to it, so make sure if you do it through your work, make sure it coincides with those requirements, so I don't have to email you separately or give you a call.
And it is yearly, every year.
Yeah, every year.
That's all I have, Chair.
Okay. In which case, Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Thomas.
Moved Thomas, second.
Simpson.
Who? Simpson.
Oh,
Thomas and Simpson.
okay.
Discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, raise your right hand. This meeting is adjourned.
Did that because the gavel's on.